Good evening. So from today onwards, we are going to start geography optional classes, for the UPSC examinations. Some of the aspirants who are online might be knowing me. I am Dr.Sri Kakarla. I have been teaching this geography as part of general studies as well as optional in many of the premier institutions that are located in Chennai, Bengaluru, even Delhi and Hyderabad. So I am going to handle this geography optional syllabus, which is for total 500 marks. So we have a composition of, we have a division into two papers, paper 1 as well as paper 2. So I will further in detail go into the syllabus, and I will also give a brief idea how the questions are being asked in the examination and what is the pattern of the examination question paper. That also has to be understood. The way of asking the questions, and based on 20-25 question paper, we will see how the questions are being asked, how the concepts are interlinked to the contemporary issues. We will see that. So this geography optional, these are the three components before going deeper into the subject, before going to launch any one of the units of the syllabus, either climatology or geomorphology. Let us briefly understand these points. Why geography is the most important optional, why geography is the most preferred optional, and what is the importance of geography. In the recent times, we have a trend that many of the aspirants has been taking some other optionals, which may be, I am not criticizing the other optional, I am not criticizing the other optional faculty, but UPSC itself is a smart way of preparing. And being an IAS officer or IPS officer, you have to administer the society very smartly, in a very smart way. So based on that smart parameters, geography is the best optional. Why this is called as best optional? Point number one, if we take geography as optional, so roughly you will get at least 290 plus marks in paper 1 as well as paper 2. In the mains examination, we are having geography optional, so you will roughly get 290 marks in the mains paper from the optional portion. This is the most common and average score I have been telling you. If you work little more than average, you are having a chances up to 320, 330 also. And these are the average marks 290. And if you work little harder, you can go up to the 330 also. Even 350 was also possible. But this is the general benchmark, up to 330 we can go. And if we take geography in paper 1 mains examination, paper 1 general studies of the mains, we are having geography in 3 or 4 components: major geophysical phenomena and geography of India, distribution of the natural resources across South Asia including India, and disasters and their management. So in the general studies paper 1, we are having roughly about 110 marks overlapping with the geography. These 110 marks you need not to prepare separately. By taking geography optional, it was automatically overlapped with the sum of your syllabus components. That's why this 110 marks is an added advantage to you. And paper 2 general studies. In this paper 2 general studies, along with the polity, governance, natural justice, in that we are having international relations. In this international relations, we are having an overlapping of about 30 plus marks. 30 plus marks we have overlapping with the geography optional syllabus. Here in this international relations, we will see India and its bilateral relations. In the international relations portion of paper 2 general studies, you will study India's bilateral relations and what are the disputes, what are the solutions, what are the contemporary issues going on, and what are the stand of United Nations organization with respect to a border issue of India and Pakistan, or India and Afghanistan, or India and China. All these international related issues at least having an overlapping of 30 plus marks with the GS optional. Here in paper 2, Indian geography, in unit 1, we will see this bilateral India and its bilateral issues. And also in the 10th unit, there is a chapter called Contemporary Issues in India. Here this portion will be covered, so that you need not to study separately. You need not to study separately these bilateral issues in case of international relations. That was already covered in the geography optional. Not only that, in paper 3 general studies of mains examination, in paper 3 general studies of the mains examination, we are having the first topic itself, agriculture, where the agriculture is extensively studied in case of both paper 1 and paper 2. In the paper 1 and paper 2, in the both areas we are having agriculture. In paper 1 we will see agriculture, global agricultural economy in case of human geography. In paper 2 we will see Indian agriculture, trends in agriculture, problems in agriculture, solution in agriculture, government policies, measures, mechanisms and agricultural governance, including technological advancements with respect to the agriculture. We will see more elaborately here. Not even agriculture is as deeper there. So here we will see deeper area of agriculture, so that this portion of paper 3 general studies has been already covered. No need to separately study that. Not only that, ecology and environment. Ecology and environment. This ecology is part of biogeography. We are having biogeography, environmental geography in paper 1 section A. This ecology has been covered here in this biogeography. And environment, that is also environment ecology. Actually the portion given is environmental ecology. That environment was also covered here. Not only in its core nature of what is meant by ecology, not only in its core nature of what are the biotic, abiotic factors of the environment, we will also see what are the latest advancements and the trends, contemporary issues with respect to United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, with respect to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, with respect to the latest reports or the any kind of indexes or any kind of reports has been published by the Government of India or international agency. We will see its contemporary issues also in case of optional. You need not to study that. And here we are having disaster management. And here in case of paper 2, Indian disaster management is part and parcel of geography. Earthquakes, tsunami, that was directly mentioned in paper 1 geomorphology. We will see earthquakes, tsunamis, volcanoes and seafloor spreading, landslides, avalanches. All these are part of geography optional. So roughly here 90 plus marks has been overlapped with the geography optional. Not only this, geography optional did not even stand here. It was entered into paper 4 general studies also. Paper 4 general studies is ethics. How can we say ethics is also having overlapping with the geography optional? Environmental ethics. There is a separate segment called environmental ethics. So I will explain what is meant by ethics, what is meant by morals, what is the difference between ethics and morals, and what is meant by attitude, how the attitude has to be changed. So we will see what is your attitude towards the environment. So in case of fundamental duties, Article 51A of the Constitution, you should be compassionate towards the living creature. That was given in 51A of Indian Constitution under fundamental duties. Are we really compassionate towards the living creatures now? No. So your attitude towards the living creature or your attitude towards the environment is not up to the mark or not up to the expected levels. So then your ethics, your morals are not up to the expected levels. So that's why we will see what is meant by environmental ethics. What is meant by environmental ethics? How your behavior should be and in what way your behavior should be ethical with respect to the environment. So to behave ethically towards the environment, to have a positive attitude towards the environment, how your behavior has to be changed, how your attitude has to be changed. What are the grounds for that? Is that a school or the family or your peer group or the education or the higher level of the studies are important? So we will see all these components. I will go further deeper into that area. So roughly about 40 marks has been overlapped with the geography optional. So along with the 290 marks that has been granted in the geography optional, along with that 110 plus 30, that is 140, plus 90, that is 230, plus 40, roughly about 230 plus 40, 270. So in an average I have been generalizing that 250 plus marks can be easily marked in the mains examination also. This is the major logic. That is why majority of the North Indian UPSC aspirants, especially Punjab, Haryana, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, and Madhya Pradesh, Gujarat, these aspirants has been taking geography very intelligently, very wisely choosing geography instead of going like sheep. That optional is good, this optional is very less. So if you take that optional or that optional, so can you say any optional is having overlapping like this of geography? No, never. So geography is the best optional. That's why you have chosen geography, and we have started geography optional classes. That will be one of the best positive universal sign that you are going to fetch at least 220 marks in the general studies without extra burden. All right. Apart from that, in the preliminary examination, even if you see in the preliminary examination, in the 2025 UPSC preliminary examination, we are having a question. We are having questions from geography, roughly 13 questions were there. From environment, roughly 11 questions were there. So totally 24 questions were there. So 24 into 2, that is 48 questions. So 48 marks has been 48 marks weightage was there for geography and environment. If you score 15 marks in Indian history, if you score 15 marks in polity, if you score 10 marks in current affairs or economy, you can clear the preliminary examination. No other subject in the preliminary examination is having as heavy weightage as that of geography. Geography is having at least 1/4 of the weightage in the entire preliminary examination also. That's why geography is the best optional. So that is the reason why choosing the geography is beyond doubt, it is a wisest optional during your that was chosen during your UPSC preparation. Now, so any optional is having, now I have been explaining, I am explaining the syllabus components. I don't deeply dive into individual subcategory or subtopic of this syllabus. Just I will show what are the concepts, what are the units we are having, and then we will see the question paper pattern. If we see any optional, every optional in UPSC examination is having 2 papers. So paper 1, 250 marks, and paper 2 comprises of 250 marks. Earlier, before 2012, 2013, there were 2 optionals. Earlier, there were 2 optionals, and even then also, geography is one of the most preferred optional. But luckily, thanks to the reforms made by the UPSC, that only 1 optional has been included. So every optional is having 2 papers. So total weightage of the optional is 500 marks. That was divided into 2 papers. That was conducted, depends on majority of the times. First paper will be held in the morning and second paper will be held in the evening session. That is the normal trend. Unless there is any explicit reasons to conduct the examination paper to the second day. So there may be majority of the chances evening session or afternoon session paper 2 is generally being conducted. Coming to the geography, we are having 2 papers. Paper 1, remember, the syllabus understanding is very crucial in the entire journey of the optional preparation. First paper, principles of geography. Principles of geography. Here we will see the roots of geographical thought formation, the roots of geographical thinking up to the advanced level. If I say geography, we know the meaning of the geography. Geo means earth, graphy means study. To study the earth is called as geography. That is the fundamental idea, crude idea, according to the Eratosthenes, who was considered as the father of geography. But how this geographical idea has been arrived, it was originated, why that person wanted to study the earth, why he tried to study the earth during that ancient times itself, and how that idea has been later transformed, and why this advanced level of understanding the geography has become, and later how this discipline of geography, a scientific subject called geography, later emerged as one of the optionals of the UPSC examination. How this has been happened, and what are the principles that has been included in this geography. We will see this entire thinking process and entire formative process, entire evolution process in this first paper. That's why It is not the meaning of geography. It is not the definition of geography. It is the principles of geography. What caused geography? Principles. So if something, if you are responding to a particular accident, for example, you are walking on a road, you have seen a person has been a senior citizen had been fell from his bike, fell from his two-wheeler, and he was bleeding. Then different people has been responding differently. Some of the people has been trying to pull him, some of the people has been trying to call to the ambulance, and some of the people has been simply taking the photos or the videos, and some of the passerbys are not taking care of it and they are moving. As a person, you have been observing all these things. As a person, you are observing all these events and coming to a conclusion. So based on that principles, so why this person has been responding like that, you will understand his principle. If a person is pulling, you will understand he might be more compassionate person. His thinking process has been, he might be so much of compassionate or sympathetic person. A person who is walking by, you think that person is having, he is not compassionate, or otherwise he is having some other important work maybe. And some other person who is calling ambulance, you think that he is having, he is more attentive person. So based on the behavior of various people responding to a particular incident, you have been coming to a conclusion. So these are called as principles. Based on that principles, you are designing that particular episode. Based on that principles, you are coming to a conclusion about that particular episode, and you are reporting this episode to some other person as a journalist, as an author. So these are the principles. So to understand that situation completely, you need to understand the principles which motivated that situation like that. That's why this is the principles of geography. By understanding the principles of geography, you will understand the formation of geography, how the geography has been evolved, what are the evolution processes involved in the geography. That's why this is more important area. For understanding the Indian geography, these principles of geography is more important. So principles of geography is simply nothing but understanding the ground realities, understanding the scientific or technical equations behind the formation of geography. It has been further divided, the principles of geography has been further divided into two components, section A and section B. Section A is called as physical geography. These principles with respect to the physical elements present on the surface of the earth or under the earth. What are the principles? What are the equations behind the formation of the physical aspects over the surface of the earth? Mountains has been formed. So you will understand what are the principles behind formation of the mountains. Oceans has been formed. You will understand principles of formation of the oceans under the oceanography. And clouds has been formed. You will understand what is the mechanism, what are the principles behind the formation of the cloud. So you will understand that principles behind that physical aspects present over the surface of the earth or over the atmosphere of the earth. It includes this physical geography. The term physical geography refers to that branch of geography where you will study the physical characteristics of the earth. Whether it is rocky, whether it is having mountains, whether it is having valleys, whether it is having plains, whether it is having the oceans, what are the structures of the oceans, all this comes under the physical geography. This physical geography, section A physical geography has been further divided into geomorphology and climatology. In this geomorphology, unit 1 geomorphology, you will see land. Morpho means structure, geo means earth. Means earth structures. What are the structures present over the surface of the earth? Mountains, plateaus, plains, how mountains has been formed, how the plateaus has been formed, how the plains has been formed, what are the endogenic and the exogenic forces, what are the forces that are causing this kind of landform formation, origin and the evolution of the earth's crust when it has been formed, and fundamentals of the geomagnetism, physical conditions of the earth interior, and geosynclines, continental drift theory, continental drift, isostatic equilibrium, plate tectonics, and the recent views of the mountain building, volcanicity, earthquakes, tsunami, concept of geomorphic cycles, landscape development and denudation, chronology, all these are related to the structures present over the surface of the earth. That's why it is called as geomorphology. Then we will move on to the climatology. Temperature and pressure belts of the world and entire climate, atmosphere, its a structure, temperature and pressure belts of the world, heat budget of the earth, atmospheric circulation, atmospheric stability or instability, planetary local winds, monsoons and jet streams, air masses and the fronts, and tropical cyclones and temperate cyclones, distribution of the precipitation, weather and climate, and Köppen's, Thorndike's and Trevatha's classification of the world climate. This is the area in the recent times, roughly from about 10 or 15 years onwards, there is no question from this climate classification. That's why majority of the UPSC teachers stopped discussing this climate classification, because climate is not behaving according to this classification, because climate change, that is because of the climate change. Anyway, we will see briefly about that. Global climatic change. So this is the contemporary issue, global climate change, and what is the roles and responsibility of various nations, various people, and what are the climate changes, applied climatology. Instead of theoretically understanding what is meant by climate, we need to understand applied climatology. So I will discuss applied climatology more elaborately. Urban climate, there is a separate component called urban climate has been given. It's the most important area. Urban floods, urban heat engines, concrete jungles, and more focusedly urban areas. In the recent times, flash floods, cloud bursts has been happening in the urban areas where the water does not have the proper channels, and the channels has been encroached, drainage system has been encroached, choked drainage system. That's why the waters has been entering into the urban area, submerging the underground, submerging the buildings, leading to the more devastating floods than that of the cyclones, than that of the temperate or the tropical cyclones. So this became one of the most important areas, important problem in the recent times, urban climate. We will see more elaborately. Third one, oceanography, one of the most important area, simple unit, small unit, yet very important unit, and all the questions are predictable. In the oceanography, all the questions are predictable. There is no unpredictable question. In case of climatology, maybe applied climate or some other thing has been maybe asked. But in case of oceanography, there is no something called unknown question. Every topic is known. Every topic is simple, interesting. You can answer all the questions. Any question that can be asked in the oceanography, including the recent times of raising temperature of the Mediterranean Ocean, so that it is resulting in the ocean currents transformation between the Atlantic Ocean and the Mediterranean Sea. I will discuss that. So roughly the temperature has been increased up to 24 degrees Celsius in the Mediterranean region, leading to the death of major aquatic biodiversity in that region. We will discuss that. All right. Under marine pollution, that is also one of the important areas. Then biogeography. So biogeography, that is genesis of the soil, something related to geo, and this can be discussed as the biological or biology plus geography. How the biological elements has been modifying the geography, how the geography is modifying the biological elements. That complex relation of biology and geography is biogeography. How the rock, how a granite rock has been influenced by microbacteria or microbiome or otherwise bacteria, microorganisms. How the granite has been influenced by microorganisms, how this granite has been converted into red soils, how a basaltic rock has been influenced by bacteria and how it was formed into a black soil, how this black soil has been contributing to the cotton production, and how this cotton plant has been further leading to the growth of the organisms. It's a complex relation between geographical elements and the biology. We will see that. Classification and the distribution of the soil, this is mostly related to the soil. And the soil profile, the vertical cross section of the soil, soil erosion, degradation and the conservation, how to protect the soil. And Factors influencing the world distribution of the plants and animals. Factors influencing the distribution of the world plants and the animals. Here we will come across the biomes, problems of the deforestation and the conservation measures, social forestry, agroforestry, wildlife, major gene pool centers. Gene pool centers means the regions where the diversity or genetical diversity is very huge. The regions where the genetical diversity is very huge are called as gene pools. That may be forest, that may be national park, that may be a biosphere reserve, that may be artificially built seed vault, that may be an artificially built seed vault like that of Svalbard seed vault in Norway. And the fifth one, environmental geography. Here we will study about ecology. This entire portion has been overlapped with the ecology of preliminary examination and ecology and environment of paper 3 general studies. Principles of ecology, human ecological adaptation, influence of man on ecology and environment. Here we will see influence of man on ecology and environment. Here it comes environmental ethics. Global and regional economical changes and imbalances, ecosystem, their management and conservation. How the ecosystem, we'll see not only just the terms, meaning of the terms, we'll see that etymological discussion also, so that you will have complete idea, because optional is very important in the entire UPSC examination. If at all some marks may be reduced in your general studies, maybe because of the difficulty of the general studies paper, but the optional you should be very strong. It is like a Ramabanam we are having in our UPSC preparation. Very important. Environmental degradation, management and the conservation, biodiversity, sustainable development, environmental policy, environmental hazards and remedial measures, environmental education and legislation, Environmental Protection Act 1986, Forest Protection Act and Forest Conservation Act 1980, Wildlife Protection Act 1971, all this legislation, of course, with respect to India, we will see there. Then, section B. In the earlier times, there is no geography called human geography. Earlier, geography means only geomorphology or physical geography. Geography has been divided into human geography in the mid 16th or 17th century. Based on that human geography thoughts, we will see that. So geography means earlier, in case of biogeography, how the rock has been influenced by the biological agents. This is what the biogeography. Now in case of human geography, how the land, how the mother earth has been influenced by the man, and how the mother earth influenced man, how he influenced earth, how the earth influenced man. This complex relation will be understood in case of human geography. Perspectives in human geography. As I told you, there is a perspective. Perspective means your opinion towards a particular thing. That can be said as a perspective. What is the perspective of the human geography? Why people are studying human geography? What is the necessity of understanding the human geography? That perspective, understanding that perspective is important. Areal differentiation, there are many theories here. Areal differentiation, regional synthesis, dichotomy and dualism, environmentalism. We'll see. Environmentalism, whether man decided the environment or environment decided the behavior of the man. So that is what the environmentalism. Dichotomy and the dualism, these are the opinions. So some author says it is not the geography, it is the man who decided the geography. Based on the behavior of the man, based on the activities of the man, earth has been modified like this. Some people say like that, and some other people say it is not the man. Man is after all a creature on the earth. It is the earth. Earth decided your color. Earth decided your food habits. Earth decided your skin color. Earth decided your culture. Some people will say like that. So these are the perspectives. Whose perspective is right, whose perspective is wrong, we are not here to judge that. So we will understand what is the perspective of this particular scholar. What he is saying, what is the contradiction between these two perspectives? We will write in the examination, we will get the mark, and after the examination, after getting the rank, we are forgetting the geography. We don't want geography. So we need for only marks, for the sake of marks, not for any other thing. And quantitative evaluation, the locational analysis, radical behavior, human and welfare approaches, secularization, cultural regions of the world. We will see little culture and human related perspective. And the second one, this is most important, economic geography, world economical development, world problems, measurement problems, world economical development measurement problems, world resources and their distribution. This is what directly mentioned in paper 1 of general studies, energy crisis and limits of growth, world agriculture. I have told you, this is in paper 3 general studies. A typology of the agricultural regions, global agricultural regions, agricultural inputs and the productivity, food and nutritional problems, global perspective. This is not with respect to the India, this is with respect to the world. Food security, famines, causes, effects and remedies, world industries. So primary sector, up to here it is primary sector, from here it is secondary sector, world industries, world manufacturing regions, location, patterns and the problems, patterns of the world trade. And the third one, settlement process, population and their settlement, growth and distribution of the world population, demographic attributes, causes and the consequences of the migration, international migration, and the concepts of the over and under optimal population, overpopulation, underpopulation, optimal population, and what are its consequences, what are its concepts and the consequences, implications, and population related theories, how the population has been growing, and what are the theories behind that, whether to accept that theory or any kind of contradictions or the criticism over that theory, world population problems and the policies, social well-being and quality of the life, social well-being and the quality of the life. We will see Human Development Index of World Bank, and population as a social capital, population as a capital, population as a capital, population as investment, population as problem, population as resources. These are many angles population can be seen. If you are properly skilling your population, you are converting resources into investment. If you are not giving skills, you are converting your population into a problem. So that is why population as a social capital, whether you are converting it into a social capital or you are converting into a social problem. So we will see that. With respect to the world, again the same aspects, the same thing what we have studied here, we will be studying with respect to the India. That is the reason why many of the geography teachers, they don't discuss Indian human geography. Here we are having Indian human geography. In the paper 2, we are having settlements and cultural setting. In the cultural setting, historical perspective of Indian society, racial, linguistic and ethnic diversities, religious minorities, tribes, all these cultural regions, growth, distribution of the population, sex ratio, age structure, longevity, dependency ratio, migration, all these 6th unit has been directly overlapped with the unit 3 of human geography. Unit 3 of human geography. So unit 3 of human geography has been overlapped with the unit 7, unit 6 plus unit 7 of Indian geography. That's why instead of separately discussing Indian human geography, they integrate the concepts of Indian human geography here itself. So we will see migration, parallelly we will see migration in India. We will see population distribution in the world, parallelly we will see population distribution in India. We will see settlements in the world, we will see settlements in India. So it is also one of the better way, but anyhow, though we discussed here, instead of to avoid the confusion that we didn't discuss that particular topic there in Indian geography, I will again touch there. Here also I will try to integrate and overlap that particular concept, but at the same time, there also again in case of paper 2, we will again see the topic, be it overlap, no problem, even it is overlapping, even it is repeating, don't worry, repetitions will enhance your knowledge, isn't it? So we will again discuss the same topics there. Again, and coming to the 4th unit, regional planning. What is meant by the concept of the region, types of regions, methods of regionalization, Region, the common word, it is commonly understood word region is a particular geographical area with a certain kind of characteristics. This is a common crude understanding what is meant by regions and how this region has been formed. And based on what factors you are saying this is as a region. What are the factors, what are the regionalization methods? Based on particular methods, a particular region, a particular geographical area will convert into a region. We will see that regionalization. Growth centers, growth problems, regional imbalances between the regions within the country, between the regions within Asia, between the regions of different continents, Asia, Africa, Europe, and models and theories. Actually, this is the first topic we need to study. In case when we start the human geography, first we need to study perspectives of the human geography, then we will study the models, theories of the human geography, then we can understand these three areas: population distribution, regional planning and all. This is the section B. Don't worry, it appears the syllabus is long. It appears syllabus is having huge components, but every topic is relevant to the another topic. There is a very proper cohesion with the topic, and every topic is interesting, and every topic can be attributed to the Indian components. And mains and general studies, mains and prelim syllabus of our civil services examination. That's why you never feel bored. Even the syllabus appears to be long, appears to be large, you never feel bored because syllabus has been properly, cohesively that was kept, and that was also important for the examination perspective. Then coming to the paper 2, Geography of India. Geography of India, whatever we have seen in case of physical geography there in paper 1, geomorphology, climatology, oceanography, biogeography, environmental geography, all those aspects we will again study with respect to the India. Indian physical setting, whatever we have seen mountains there, and we will see mountains formation, Himalayan mountains in India. There we will see plate tectonics theory resulted in this mountain formation. Tethys geosynclinal theory resulted in the Himalayan mountain formation. There you understand what is meant by geosyncline, what is meant by Tethys, what is meant by plate tectonic and the continental drift theory. Now that aspects what we have studied in the geomorphology, that we will attribute it to the India. And you will see what is meant by monsoons there, what is meant by local winds, what is meant by periodical winds there, that we will see with respect to the India. What are the monsoonal rainfall in India, what is meant by El Nino, La Nina, and how the ocean currents has been influencing Indian climate. So whatever we have studied in case of paper 1, that we will see, that we will attribute with respect to the paper 2. And the second one, resources. In case of first paper, economic geography, human geography and the economic geography, we have seen distribution of the natural resources, agriculture and industries region. So whatever we have seen there, that we will study again in case of India. There we will see global agricultural regions. Here we will see, global mineral distribution. Here we will see Indian mineral distribution. There we will see distribution of the world natural resources, wildlife. Here we will see Indian wildlife resources distribution. So resources distribution in India as a continuation to the resources of the paper 1 of economic geography. And agriculture, it was a separately mentioned topic. There agriculture was there, agricultural regions, agricultural developments and global agricultural problems. Here we will see the same kind of agriculture with respect to India, infrastructure, irrigation, seeds, fertilizers, very important area. This completely covers paper 3 agriculture. Green revolution, socio-economical, ecological consequences, land capability, social forestry, agroforestry, tenure, land reforms, cropping patterns, agricultural productivity, decreasing agricultural productivity in India, and significance of the dry farming. This is very important, dry land farming in India. About 60% of the pulses has been growing in the dry land area of India. We could not ignore that, but still dry land area has been facing so many problems. White revolution, agricultural regionalization, agroclimatic zonation, agroecological regions. We will see this elaborately. Agriculture is one of the vast chapters we are having. Then unit 4, industry. The same aspects like how we have covered from the roots agriculture in India, similarly we will see the industrial sector in India, evolution of industries, locational factors, geographical, non-geographical factors which are helping, which are the reason for the establishment of the industries, industrial regionalization, and industrial policies of Government of India, Industrial Policy Resolution 1951, 1952, 1958 and up to 1991 LPG reforms. We will cover this. Liberalization, privatization, globalization, we will see, in fact, more deeper than how you study the policies in case of your economy. Your economy faculty just cover that. LPG reforms 1991, license Raj has been abolished. So this act has been formed. This act has been got later. Foreign direct investments, foreign portfolio investment has been came. So he covered like that. But we will see the roots because it is optional. Optional is like our mother. We have to discuss each and every aspect because it is going. This is the what going to give the marks in the examination. Transport and communication. All the modes of transportation, surface transportation, air transportation, water transportation, and the advancements in the transportation like that of magnetic leviation technology has been recently going on. So we will see that advancements in the technology with respect to the transport and communication. Cultural setting, this cultural setting, different regionalization, cultural regions of India, and population distribution. So this can be directly attributed to the unit 3 of the human geography of the world, and 7th unit settlements, types and the patterns of the settlements, cities, regional planning, morphology of the Indian cities, structures, functional classification of Indian cities, conurbations, metropolitan cities, cosmopolitan cities, urban sprawls, sums, associated problems. So this is entire discussion. With this you can also answer very important essays also. And after completion of entire geography optional portion, I will tell how it is helpful in writing the general essay also. Regional development and planning, experience of regional planning in India. So regional development, how the regional, not just development, regional planning, how even municipalities has been operating, we have to study here. 5-year plans, decentralized planning, and Panchayat Raj system, as I told you, decentralized planning, Panchayat Raj system. What are the problems of the Panchayat Raj system with respect to the regional planning? We will study that. Political aspects. So these are political aspects like states reorganization, linguistic reorganization, and post-independent issues, regional consciousness, language problem, some political aspects, because political aspects is also human related turmoil is also part of geography. That's why we will see that political aspects. And the 10th one, contemporary issues, Indian contemporary issues with respect to the ecology, environment, erosion and all. So this is what this topic has to be coordinated with the current affairs. Of course, I will integrate current affairs as well. It appears as the syllabus is large, but don't worry, syllabus is not large. Subtopics are heavy. There are many subtopics. That's why it is having so much of paragraphical information with respect to the each unit. Now, coming to the standard books, I strongly refer not to purchase these books. Don't purchase these books because the material which I have been giving to you, each and every chapter which I have been giving to you, has been prepared from the standard books. So that's why that standard paragraphs from the standard books has been compiled, concised, and that has been modified to the answer oriented or examination oriented pattern. That's why you need not worry about that. Materials has been given to you up to the level of answer writing. That's why you should not feel tense about that. That's why no need to purchase the standard books. If at all out of curiosity you can purchase, but I strongly suggest don't purchase that books because topics are already covered from the standard books. But for your reference, if you want to study, you can study the books, some of the books which are available in the market. Geomorphology, Savindra Singh sir book. Environmental geography, again Savindra Singh sir book. Human geography, Mazid Hussain sir book. This book has been getting updated year by year. Human geography, Mazid Hussain sir. Models and geography, that is also Mazid Hussain sir. Geographical thought, 10th unit of human geography, 5th unit of human geography. R.D. Dikshit, fundamentals of geographical thought, Sudipta Adhikari. This is also actually not important, but you can refer it. And comprehensive geography, better to have this book. Indian geography, it's a comprehensive geography. It comprises of Indian physical, economical, human geography, biogeography also. That's why better to have this book. But anyhow, I'm again telling you, the book, the material has been compiled from D.R. Kuller sir book. That's why it is not necessary. And along with that, you should have Atlas. Atlas is like a mobile phone. Atlas is like a mobile phone for a geography optional student. It should be always with you. Atlas should be always with you. When you come across a place, in the news, immediately you have to see that place in the Atlas and make a paragraph on that. For example, you will see any place like Gibraltar Strait. In the recent times, the Gibraltar Strait was there in news. So immediately you need to understand what is meant by Gibraltar Strait, where it was present, why it is in news, what is its economical importance, between which countries this has been located, all this information. But anyhow, every week or once in 10 days, I will collect the places. Which are in news, and we will try to practice that in the map, and we will see that places in the map, and we will take notes of 4 or 5 points with respect to every such area which is in news because of its international or the national or biological or whatever the importance is. So, alright, this is what the syllabus. So far we have covered syllabus. Coming to the question paper pattern, every paper is having, and I will show that these instructions are very important. So every paper will be divided into 2 components. Each paper has been divided into 2 components. For example, paper 1 that was divided into 2 components. Paper 1 totally 250 marks divided into section A and section B. So totally 8 questions will be given. In the entire 250 marks, 8 questions will be given. Which question carries how many marks will be individually mentioned beside that particular question. There is no common question. Every question is having 10 marks. Every question carrying 50 marks. It is not like that. How many marks each question has been carrying, that will be individually given beside that particular question. I will show that. So totally 8 questions will be given. That was divided into 2 sections. Section A, 4 questions. Section B, 4 questions. And you need to totally write 5 questions. Out of this, question number 1 of section A and question number 5 of section B are compulsory. Question number 1 and question number 5 of section A and section B are compulsory. That is, the first question of every section is compulsory. You have to attend that question. You may get the question, sir, first question means it is from the first unit geomorphology, or fifth question means is that from the first unit of human geography? No. That first question comprises of 1 question from geomorphology, 1 question from climatology, 1 question from oceanography, 1 question from environmental geography, 1 question from biogeography. Or it may be all 5 questions from geomorphology, or it may be all the 5 questions from the climatology. You can't say that. So first question and the fifth question are compulsory. Remaining, we are having 3 questions here and 3 questions here. So you have attempted 2 questions, and remaining 3 questions has to be appeared. At least 1 question has to be chosen from the both section. That means if you write 2 questions from that out of the 3 questions, you are having you can write 2 questions there and 1 question from here. Remaining are choices. So totally 8 questions has to be fulfilled. If we see this, this is the pattern in case of paper 2 also. I think you understand this. Huh? If we see 2025 question paper, this is paper 1. This is paper 1 question paper. This is paper 1 question paper. So in this paper 1 question paper, the same first question, this is the first question. First question comprises of 5 questions. So each question is having 10 marks, 5 questions. There is no internal choice. You have to write all the 5 questions. Answer the following question. Explain the causes of glacial lake outburst floods. Glacial lake outburst is very common, and earlier glacial lake outburst was there in case of Manasarovar Yatra, as well as in case of this Mandakini river flooding. That's why that question was asked. And salifluction, so we will see this. Geological and tectonic process lead to the formation of nappes in orogenic belts. So it is causes of glacial lake outburst. It is geomorphology and solifluction, biogeography, and this is again geomorphology. Explain relation between air masses, local winds. This is climatology. Fundamental differences among ocean wave, currents, tides. These are the topics which I have already covered for the general studies. Even in your class also I have covered these differences between waves, tides and the currents. So even in the general studies I have went up to that level. We will again discuss that. So it is again oceanography. So first question does not mean that it will be asked from the first unit. It means that question can be asked from any. And apart from that, the question, particular marks of the question will be mentioned beside that particular question. This is how the question paper is being made. I will also discuss this 2025 UPSC question paper also. So that I will discuss more elaborately and with the model answer. And the next thing, once I discuss a particular topic, if we discuss a particular topic, for example, we have this climate, if we discuss the temperature belts, if we discuss the temperature belts of the world, that is the first topic of the climatology. If we discuss the temperature belts of the world, as soon as discussing these temperature belts, as soon as completion of this topic, we will try to write a question. For every topic, there will be a practice question given at the end of the topic, like distinguish between classical and modern classification of the Earth's temperature belt. And you have to write this question, you have to show this question to me, and I will evaluate every day. That means every day writing answers is part of your geography preparation that you will be doing every day. Alright, this is the first day. That's why I have given you brief orientation about the syllabus, how the questions are being asked and its overlapping nature and its importance with another overlapping subjects of the GS mains. Alright, from tomorrow onwards, we'll start with the climatology. Much important area. In the recent times, the questions from the climatology are very high. The number of climatology related questions has been increasing in the recent times. That's why we'll start with the climatology from tomorrow. All right. So this is a orientation session. Some of the students has been appeared from different places of India online. So you can, for any further queries, you can call to our coordinator 8639404026 or otherwise 9346265766 to have the classes optional batch, to join in the optional batch. All right, we'll meet tomorrow. From tomorrow onwards, we will formally launch from the climatology. We'll meet tomorrow.